Hey guys, today I'm going to be putting a single fuel pump on the E30. I'm going to get away from the dual pumps. I'm going to have just one single in-tank pump. So let me show you what I got. So I hopped on the old Amazon and I got this Walbro 255 fuel pump. It come with, a bag of junk. And then this I actually picked up at a local hardware store. This is a 3/8 barb to 3/8 threaded female, and then a 3/8 threaded male to a 5/16 barb. Okay, this is what's going to delete the inline fuel pump. You see that? Hopefully I got the sizes right. I didn't even bother climbing under the car and checking. I just know that they're not quite the same size, so hopefully this will work. We'll find out. So first things first, I'm gonna climb in here, and I've already got the fuel pump exposed. So I'm gonna pull the fuel sending unit and I'm gonna pull the fuel pump hanger out. But real quick, let me show you. This car died on me the other day going down the road, and I've been having some issues out of it. And I'm pretty sure it's a fuel starvation issue. So I've actually got an inline fuel pressure gauge that I popped on here just so I could try to figure out what kind of fuel pressure I'm getting. So let me show you that real quick. Let me see if I can set this up real quick. All right guys, so as you can see, I'm getting like 35 psi at idle, and it'll jump up a little bit, but then it'll drop back down. Got some fuel pressure fluctuations. So yeah, let's pull this sucker out, pull this thing out and swap the pump over, and then I'll show you guys how I'm going to delete that one down there, the one under the body. And then, yeah, we'll see what kind of pressure we're getting. Hopefully this thing will run a lot better. All right, so I've already got the pump out of the car. I went ahead and pulled the whole hanger assembly, and I've already dismantled it a little bit here, but I'm gonna show you what I did. So this little thing goes like right there, and it just snaps off. And this is the weaker metal, so it shouldn't damage this. It should just like knock a hole in that. And then this thing I took off. This thing was down at the bottom here, kind of like that. And again, I just snapped it off with a pair of pliers. Same thing with this little tab that was right here. I just got it out of the way after pulling the pump out. So here was this was what was causing issues on my car. The little adapter boot that goes from there to that thing had cracked. So all this stuff is garbage. So now I've got my hanger assembly, and now I've got to figure out how to basically get that there like that. I know how to do it. I'm just saying I'll probably have to cut this a little bit and then make sure my height is about the same, which about right in there should be pretty close. So yeah, so all right, so I'm gonna come back when I get this cut, and then I gotta find some fuel line that'll go from there to there. All right, well there it is. Kind of a rough fit. I haven't worried about wiring this up yet. I'll probably have to move that hose clamp so it'll clear the little wiring connector there. But first thing I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go stick it in the car, make sure it clears everything. This here is just some fuel hose I had. I don't even know what size it is. It's like, I don't know, it's like 3/8 on the inside maybe a little bit smaller. But yeah, so I basically took and cut about 1 inch of that off, of that side. So I cut 1 inch of that off from there so that the spout on the Walbro would clear it. And actually the tip of the Walbro pump is actually up in the metal a little bit, but these hose clamps are pulled down pretty tight, so it shouldn't leak. I mean, surely it's not gonna leak any worse than that stupid thing does. So, and then I just used a hose clamp down here to secure it. And if this fits, I'll probably just zip that off so it's not snagging on stuff if I ever have to pull the pump in and out. And I'm hoping that this filter is gonna be facing the right direction. I'm hoping. And then there's the return line. So, all right, so let's go see if it'll fit in the car. All right, show you guys what I'm dealing with here. This hose clamp, it's too big for the hole. Like I can try to not lose my filter. So, as you can see, the hose clamp doesn't really allow me to get, I've messed with it a little bit. I don't think I can work it in there, so I'm just gonna go back to the drawing board and figure something else out. See, I don't know why that won't stay on there, but I was afraid I was gonna lose it down in there. All right, I'll be back. So there's the updated version. The Walbro actually came with this little rubber sleeve. It's like a foam rubber sleeve. I'm assuming you just put it on there to like keep the noise down or something. But I actually put it on there to help hold it in place. And I got my fuel return just peeking out right on the bottom. I threw 3 zip ties on there just for precaution. And I went ahead and rotated my hose clamps and made sure they were a little more secure. So now I think we're ready to try this again. All right, so I got it in there just as a test fit. And as you can see, it's kind of spun into place. The fuel sending unit is in there for the most part. It needs to go down a little bit more, but it's tight going in and out on this car for some reason anyways. So I don't think that's hitting anything. Problem is, that joker right there, the darn fuel screen for the bottom of the pump doesn't quite go into the little bucket down there. So I've got to figure out what direction to point that. So I'm gonna take this fuel sending unit back out. I'm gonna pull the pump back out and yeah, see what we can do. It's like my screws are bent. My little threaded screws for the pump or the sending unit. They're like bent. Oh, if I can get this out one-handed. Nope. So there it is. I oriented the little screen filter there so that it'll sit down in the bucket down inside the tank. And I did test fit the sending unit, so it's not going to hit that. I went ahead and wired it up. Not the best wiring job, but it should work. And I just flared open a spade connector and wrapped it around the feed line, and then put a hose clamp on it. So I checked it. It's got ground everywhere, so should be good. And to keep this from coming off, zip ties for the win. So let's see if I can maneuver this thing in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this in, go ahead and get my lines and wires hooked back up, and then I'm gonna go under the car and show you how to delete the inline pump. All right, so now, now I gotta delete this pump. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pull this bracket so I can get the pump out. Then I should be able to just take this hose clamp loose and this one on the backside and put in my little adapter. Where you at, a little adapter? And put in my little adapter guy and get rid of that pump. And all I'm gonna do for the wires is I'm just gonna like cap them off with some electrical tape and zip tie them up out of the way, because I may go back to a dual pump at some point if this doesn't work, so I don't want to just snip it. So I'm gonna go get some 10 millimeters, I guess. All right, so I got my little adapter ready to go. One thing I would mention, if you're gonna try this yourself, get some thread tape that's fuel safe. This is not fuel safe. This is just some Teflon I had laying around, so if I start getting leaks, I know where to check. So I want to see if this is going to work, so I went ahead and just used what I had. The pump's hanging down, the fuel lines are disconnected, the other one's up in there somewhere. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm gonna put this sucker in and disconnect that pump and see what happens. All right, so there's my little adapter fitting. I just duct taped them up out of the way. I kept the bracket in here to kind of help keep everything from bouncing around. And then I threw a zip tie up there since I didn't use the clamp for the big fuel pump. All right, so I'm pretty sure I'm ready to drop this car down. Get my jack stand out from under it. Now, let's see what happens. Well, that's a good sign. I'm still running about 30, 35 PSI. Still got some hiccups with it, but may just have some air in the lines or something. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the seat back in it and call that a day. I'll be sure to put some updates in the comments if something goes wrong with it, but I mean right now she sounds pretty good. So yeah, that's how you do the single fuel pump conversion. Yank that sucker out, cut some stuff off, put the Walbro on it, and delete that one. So thanks for watching, guys.